Welcome back to Vana Media. My name is Boniface Owino, and as usual, I'm going to be your host for today. Now, I'm very privileged to have a professor here, and that is Professor Fred. And I would like to not even introduce him because we all know him. I just want us to jump into our discussion. But before that, Professor,
Yes.
before we talk about what I want us to talk about, we know very well that when a woman is pregnant
Yes.
with one child, she carries the child for 9 months.
Yeah.
Now, I've been asking myself this question, but why is it that when the woman is pregnant, carrying 2 children, cannot double it to 18 months?
Because each and every child there has to do 9 months individually, and now the other months are now just collectively. So we are not, every child will be produced because God has created each and every child in the womb, and every child has a gestation period of 9 months. So it does not matter. Even in Kisi, like I was telling my brother Moyo, they produce 4. And still each of them will have given, each and everyone has equal 9 months. So God is a God of equality, God of equity. So God does not behave like human beings. Remember, in the Bible, they say God's justice is not like your justice. You know the story of the vineyard of Jesus?
Yes.
Where some people started working in the morning, some
came in the afternoon. They were all paid equal.
And God said, I'm generous with the money. So God gives everybody equal chance. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether the woman carries 3 triplets, carries twins.
But also, to be fair, a woman, the pregnancy could be 12 months. Do you know how the 9th month looks? You know, but first you're not yet married. Let me tell you, for those who have been married now, I have 3 children. When you have a woman who is pregnant at home, you have to change everything. You must smile more. You must be more understanding. Sometimes they because of hormones, they don't want to talk. And you should not be worried that she's not talking. Don't get annoyed that she's not talking to me. You relax. Your work is to shut up and just watch peacefully and pray for her. Sometimes she just wants you to hold her womb, isn't it? Sometimes she just wants a hug. Sometimes she just wants you to sit there and listen. Like there's a time when my wife was pregnant. And there's a day I spent at home and she didn't talk to me the whole day. Then the next day I left home to go and talk to a friend. She told me, why did you not come here? I told her, but last day I was there the whole day. You didn't even talk. She told me, no, just sit there and I see you. They tell you, like there's a time I was driving from school. I used to teach in Strathmore. So I drive when I reach here and she calls me and tells me she wants sausage and this thing they cook for pork is called what? Hamon. Yes. So, you know, those things, they prepare them normally in the morning for breakfast. Now she wants them in the evening. How do you get them? You know, I had to drive out to this place called Under the Radar. You know, Under the Radar restaurant. I told the lady, please, I know this looks outrageous,
but
my wife has said that she wants hamon. Please, fry. She looked at me and told me, okay, I understand you. Then she prepared, I took it home. That's when there was peace. When you bring them home, they don't even eat it. What they wanted was that you brought them. So, you know, so can you imagine that going for 18 months? We do survive at home. So thanks God has restricted this thing only to 9 months. We finish and end with it. Thank God.
Now, the reason why I've asked you that question is I want us now to look at this thing in a political perspective.
Yeah.
The relationship in the Azimio Umoja.
Yeah.
It is not that much steadfast. It is not that much deep and strong as it was before. Just immediately after Raila Odinga had decided to take some of his strong men to the government, now there was this split. Now everybody is saying his part. At first, Kalonzo Musyoka said that those who want to join the government, they can join the government. But he cannot, in fact, he was even being offered the position of AG, Attorney General. I think he refused. Now, Jeremiah Kioni is also saying the other thing. Like when Raila Odinga was saying that Uhuru Kenyatta called him, Jeremiah Kioni said that there is nothing like that. That Uhuru Kenyatta did not call Raila Odinga, that if Raila wants to join the government, let him join the government pole pole na acha maneno mingi. And even went ahead and said that when now the ship will be sinking, it will sink with everybody, including Raila, if at all he's in the government. So that is Jeremiah Kioni. Eugene Wamalwa said that it is either you support the Kenyans or you support Zakayo. That is Eugene Wamalwa. Now, yesterday, Now the interesting part is here. Yesterday, Kalonzo Musyoka said that Raila Amolo Odinga will still remain to be the Azimio la Umoja coalition leader, and that there is no change of that until that point. That now Raila Amolo Odinga himself will say that now I hand over this position to so and so to take over. But we remember initially Jeremiah Kioni had said that Kalonzo Musyoka is taking over from Raila Amolo Odinga because Raila Amolo Odinga is going to AU.
Yes.
What is the problem?
First of all, to understand this problem, you have to understand what is called a script of a playbook. You know, what's a playbook? A playbook looks like an idea that starts to look like a movie, and the movie has players. So what I can tell you, political environment, normally there are players who have sat down and written a script, isn't it? So when you see someone coming to act, they are acting, but to the good, the common good of the people in the play. For example, Romeo and Juliet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did Romeo really die? No.
He didn't die.
It was a movie done by Shakespeare, isn't it? So in Kenya also, what I believe that these politicians, that's why I talk about drain the swamp, isn't it? They must have sat down under behind the curtain, written the script, then they act, but for us we are thinking that's reality. Reality is totally different. So that's one way to respond to this matter. In fact, I had an opinion, and one of my political, let's say, friends told me it might not be true. I had an opinion. There might have been a meeting between Raila Odinga, William Ruto, and Uhuru Kenyatta before the election for 2022, and they must have agreed on a deal, and now everything is coming to pass. If at all, they claim by Raila Odinga that Uhuru Kenyatta told him to call Ruto. Yeah, because maybe they met, and of course people have also said Raila Odinga does not want to become president. So they met and they're being told, oh, you are leading candidate, don't want to be president. So let's do this. What is your runaway price? Uhuru said, Mimi, wacha nitoke serikalini, and what am I going home with? You know what he went home with. From the revelation we have is that there's a huge amount of money which was lost, isn't it? People say it's Uhuru. Whether it is him or not, I don't know. And then secondly, Raila Odinga must have been given some money, isn't it? And he sold the presidency to William Ruto.
Yeah.
Remember that the play about the sons of Isaac, Jacob and Esau, must have come to play. Because if you are the one who is the owner of the throne, and you are too hungry to wait, isn't it? So you can sell the throne for your stomach.
For the stomach.
Just like Asa said, what use is being firstborn
Yet
if I must die of
hunger. Yeah.
So he sold it out. That script is possible. I'm saying this is hypothetical, but I think that for the fact that I can conceptualize it, it lies in the world of possibility. Now, coming up to the issue where Raila Odinga says that he was advised by Uhuru Kenyatta. Boniface, you are not yet married, isn't it? Many men will advise you, marry a Kikuyu woman, marry, I don't know, a woman who has children already so that you can fast track this thing and build a family faster, isn't it? Some can tell you now because, again, you know about God, marry only a saved woman. People will tell you stories, marry a Mzungu because when you have a Mzungu as a wife, I'm sure you feel much better. People will tell you all these things, but the decision maker must be you. We cannot blame the decider. In fact, I've been telling Kioni, don't even explain whether Uhuru told him or not. Decision maker is Raila Odinga. If in case Uhuru Kenyatta asked him to call Ruto, isn't it? Uhuru did not call Ruto for him. He made a decision and called. At 79 years old, if you cannot make your own decision, but want to throw blame at your advisors. Now we're asking ourselves, if Raila Odinga was the president of Kenya, then the military tells him, bomb Uganda. Then he say, I bombed Uganda
because the military
told me so, isn't it? We require Raila Odinga at 79
let's say
years old.
80.
80.
Yeah.
Uhuru Kenyatta is younger than him, isn't it?
Yeah.
William Ruto is younger. Any politician in this country, all are younger than him. How can the oldest, more experienced, isn't it, be the one to be advised by the less experienced and younger. So this question must go to Raila and say, are you taking raw advice and using them as a decision? So that's question. Now we go back to the issue of Kalonzo Musyoka and the issue of the fact that he had said, I think, Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Odinga cannot blame each other. They know each other.
Yeah.
Remember in 2007, Raila had a chance to be president. Actually, I can tell you, not just because I'm a Luo, but Baba won the 2007 election.
Yeah.
And even God can actually maybe confirm, but I'm not here to speak on behalf of God. If Kalonzo stayed with Raila, they could have forced Kibaki to resign and leave Raila Odinga to become president. So Raila really needed Kalonzo at that hour. You know, a friend in need, isn't it? In the friend is indeed, isn't it? So that's the time when Raila Odinga needed Kalonzo, and Kalonzo deserted him. And Kalonzo joined Kibaki. And then Raila was not able to do anything. So they said, if you can't beat them, join them. So Raila joined them. That's why he was Nusumkati government. Now, in 2024,
2024.
the thing replicates itself. There's a moment when Raila should stand with Kalonzo to allow Kalonzo
now
propel him to become president in 2027. And Raila chooses to go to bed with William Ruto, isn't it? Then Kalonzo said, no, me I can't join, isn't it? Then he does the same thing. If you can't beat them, what? Join them. So now saying he's talking to Raila. Raila is inside government, isn't it? So the language Raila understands is Rutonomics. Even Buddy has said the philosophy of ODM and UDA is the same.
All the same, yeah.
So it means that the one of Wiper is about also to be the same as the one for UDA. So we shall have UDA, ODM, Wiper, the same, isn't it? Then fortunately, soon again, maybe Kioni, Jubilee might also become the same. And I've told you, all this is a host of political, which does host trading, meant on money, meant on tribal kingpinship and the rest. So according to me, it is a defeatist strategy for them. And Kalonzo cannot stand his ground on his own. And let me ask you now, do you know that when Raila was being sworn in by Miguna in Uhuru Park, somebody said that Kalonzo is so used to state apparatus. No, he was a foreign affairs minister. He was a vice president. He was all these people. Do you know that some of these politicians cannot walk alone? If you tell them to walk to the toilet, they might think they can be killed. They cannot even come back. So they even have to be taken to the toilet. Someone must stand at the door of the toilet to ensure wamemaliza.
And then they come out.
So can Kalonzo walk his own way? And who is Kalonzo if you remove him from Azimio? Martha Karua has made her own mind, iron woman, and left, isn't it? Can Kalonzo make that decision? The truth is he cannot. Who is Azimio when Raila is not there? You know, when you are still telling me Raila will come for a meeting in Azimio chaired by Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta is a retired president. He is not supposed to participate in this
politics,
isn't it? And then Raila Odinga is in government. So you are chairing Azimio, which is a political opposition party. Is this meeting the same as when it was there in 2022, 2021? So Azimio is not the same Azimio before the election, during the election, and after Ruto was declared elect. And even worse, it is what it is now. But you know, the papers of Azimio is held by one Uhuru Kenyatta, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even Kalonzo does not have these papers of Azimio, isn't it? So what if Uhuru Kenyatta decides to go and support William Ruto? What will he do? And what if Uhuru Kenyatta has another candidate apart from Kalonzo? So Kalonzo is a man in the middle of the sea with no boat and has no paddles, isn't it? And is trying to survive politically. According to me, Kalonzo is so exposed that if Kalonzo was a wise person, he was supposed to come back and go back from, say, Kuru and start building his own coalition, because you cannot enter a house that took someone to State House. If Azimio failed to take Raila to State House, how can a dead Azimio without Raila now take Kalonzo State House? And Uhuru was there as the chairperson and as a head of state, and it didn't work. It can't work. It doesn't look like it's working, and it won't work.
But Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua said that Kalonzo's talked to him, so they are planning to form a Kagema. That is Gema plus the Kikuyu. The Kikuyu are supposed to join hands with the Kambas to form a Kagema coalition. Or Kagame alliance.
So I told you already. You have to understand this politics when you look at 2027.
Yeah.
Politicians, even if they cheat you, Ruto must go. These people, they know Ruto is not going. They are now talking to prepare for 2027. And politicians are very interesting. They keep you as if they are deciding on the day now, but actually they are thinking about 2027.
They think about ahead.
So in 2027, this is the possible coalitions. Why do you think that there's a problem in Azimio?
And
There's a problem in ODM. There's a problem in Kenya Kwanza. And there's a problem in UDA. This is a script they have sat together and created this thing. But there are people who know the end game. And these people who know the end game are the script writers. One of them must be Raila Odinga. Another one must be Uhuru Kenyatta. Another one must be William Ruto.
Yeah.
The other guys are just players. Sometimes you can be called to play a role in a movie you don't know. Like you see, when Jesus was arrested, he was arrested by the Romans, isn't it? And the Jews wanted to kill him, isn't it? Then on his way, they met Joseph Arimathea, isn't it? Joseph Arimathea did not even know what's happening.
Yeah.
He was just being told, carry the cross.
Carry the cross.
And he appeared in the movie. But does it determine the end of the game? No. So the main people, that's why even the issue of anti-establishment must be fought again with the Gen Z revolution. That the script players are two people and three families. Ruto managed to eliminate the Moi family, but I think somehow the Moi family might still have a say, but he tried to eliminate them. Ruto, Raila, and Uhuru believe.
That is Kikuyu, Luo, and Kalenjins.
Yes, they believe they are the people who are writing the script for the 2027. But I told you there's a new horse which has emerged. We have to agree with the Gen Z revolution, with the entry in parliament on 25th of June 2024. A new force in the world power has come. And this force is called Gen Z. But the fathers of Gen Z are these same people. They gave birth to Gen Z. Kibaki gave them education, isn't it? Ruto himself created very many universities, and the Gen Zs went everywhere. Now you can study anywhere. No one can say they lack university to study. With these very many universities, with high population growth and no commensurate employment, the Gen Z has been born by the fathers. And even Raila Odinga has failed to ensure young people can get jobs in Luo Nyanza and told them they are victims. So they remain his goons, isn't it? So we have the goons plus the gens. They come together. These people are going to chew these people. Through the Gen Z revolution, which I call the second horse, is going to be what I call the issue-based. They are going to ask about corruption, accountability, leadership, governance, economic liberation, job creation, economic viability. These people are going to think differently. And I've told you, we have leaders that cannot take us anywhere. In fact, we have dealers, we have gooners, isn't it? And we have what I would call ruiners, ruining us instead of leading us. And that's why I'm telling the Gen Zs, if you're listening to me, I'm telling to millennials, Gen Xers, it is high time we change this country once and for all. And when I say Ruto must go, he must go plus everything he has produced, because Ruto was an MP in 1997, isn't it? There's nothing Ruto doesn't know. So if you're telling me you're auditing the debt, he was in Youth for Kano 92. Most property was stolen there. Land was stolen during that time. Even the person, imagine a whole president owns an hotel that has been in a land which is grabbed and there's nothing you can do. And the hotel is there, Western Hotel. This hotel is controversial, isn't it? Now, Kenyans start going to the president's hotel and giving him business knowing he has stolen. So Kenyans must also be, civic education is key so that we can know how to deal with the people who are stolen from us. And I saw somebody putting on Twitter, maybe I'll finish that by saying that the worst thing ever is when poor people defend a rich person who has created their poverty. And that's what you saw now, what are going to say for them, they want to defend Serikali. You are a border person. You are going to the CBD. riding your border, that you're defending a trillionaire, isn't it? Then you go back home and drink tea without sugar, then you cannot understand why your tea has no sugar. Well, for him, he's not drinking tea without sugar. He's drinking tea with the sugar in a golden cup, isn't it? Sitting on a golden seat, isn't it? On a red carpet, on a golden table, driving a car that can if it's sold, can pay your expenses until you die. We cannot do that. That is completely heckless.
And I think that is a mistake that even our policemen are doing. The other time I was trying to look at the way the policemen are mistreating the Gen Zs on the streets, and something came into my mind that who are these policemen defending? That was the first question that I asked myself. Who are they defending? The people that the policemen are defending are politicians.
Yeah.
The politicians that they're defending, someone is earning 1 million in a month.
Yeah.
You are earning 15,000. So you are defending someone who is earning more than you are earning. And when something happens to you, this person cannot even come at your rescue. Take, for instance, back when the demonstrations were starting, this policeman whose hands were chopped off by the canister, where is he?
He's on his own. That policeman who was beating the Gen Z on the street, when there's a neighbor who dies or his family member dies and he wants money, do you see the politician in the WhatsApp group raising money?
Nothing.
In Kware, when I was there, the young man who was removing dead bodies from the water, we donated 200 shillings each to buy a Soforia basin to help him fetch the bodies from the water, isn't it? While a politician went there in 17 Land Cruisers, isn't it? And paid nothing, only went back and told us there's no dialogue, then later entered government. Are you getting what I'm trying to say here? So we have to understand who is our enemy. You have to understand the enemy is not your neighbor. The enemy is not the Gen Z. The police service should serve Kenyans, not serve the politician, because you are there to serve Kenyans, not politicians. So, but of course, people have been brainwashed to think they are there. People think that you are a member of the Senate. Some policemen even think at the crown they're putting in their head there means they are part of the government. You are not. You are a citizen, and you are only serving citizens. The sovereign power belongs to the people. It's the sovereign power that creates the constitution, that creates the state offices, and even the police service. So a police person cannot beat a Kenyan whose office has been, who has created the very office he's sitting on. The president's office is created by the constitution. What comes first? God, the cause of causes. God begets Kenya. That's God created us, isn't it? Kenya creates the sovereignty. The sovereignty creates the constitution. The constitution creates the state, the office of the president plus state offices. So the office of the president is number 5. How can number 5 be more important than number 2? And some of them now think they're even better than number 1, which is God. So we have to understand the hierarchy of values in the different ecosystem in our governance system. And you're right, the Gen Z is a fellow Kenyan. And you saw another movie whereby there's a policeman who opened a gun trying to shoot. Then a Gen Z said, Baba so-and-so, you want to shoot me? Then the policeman could not even know how to respond, which means that Kenyans, we are connected together. In fact, 81% of Kenyans were with Gen Z, meaning that there is no disunity among Kenyans, but we should know the common enemy is one William Ruto plus his government and establishment. So if Raila goes and joins him, Kalonzo joins him, all of them become the enemies of the people, and therefore they should go home and the swamp should be drained and be drained dry. So
the swamp should be drained like the how do you call it? The one that, the quarry.
The quarry, yes. Should be drained dry, dry totally.
For us to get the bodies that have been, that are down.
No, when you drain the swamp, even a fish pond, the fish remains, they cannot walk. So we will know where is the fish, where is the turtles,
where is the snake,
which are the snakes, which are the crocodiles, isn't it? Then you shall go to heaven. And last but not least, I think this is like a joke, but I think I'm not joking. We have known that Raila Odinga has done what he has done. He has achieved everything he has achieved. Kalonzo Musyoka also have to know he has achieved everything he can ever achieve, isn't it? Uhuru Kenyatta also has to know he was in the president for 10 years. There's nothing new he can do. If he had this idea, he had 10 years to do it. So time has come when these people have to realize that there's a new chef in town. Let us give the chef time to prepare a meal for Kenyans to eat. But for them, they don't even know our menu. They don't even know nowadays we don't put pepper on food. We have our own menu, which has been generated by them not taking care of our needs. Now we are very different animals. They have to go home, and that's why Raila has misread the mood of the country and joined the enemy. Kalonzo Musyoka also misread the mood of the country. Now he's joining Raila, therefore joining William Ruto. Uhuru Kenyatta is now saying he wants to chair Azimio, which does not exist, and lost election. But of course, Uhuru Kenyatta, I have to give credit to him somehow, because Uhuru Kenyatta stood with Raila, who was his, let's say, a competitor, and that shows statesmanship. Uhuru Kenyatta also did advise Kenyans, let us not walk this path. This path is a path
it's very
of
dangerous.
destruction. People never listened. So Uhuru Kenyatta somehow, I give him credit among all these people, because he stood on a part of the truth. And all now quotations about be careful, don't do this guy will work with central bank on his head, he will carry the whole treasury on his head. He was saying these things. People thought that this guy just hates his assistant. Now it has come to pass. So for me, the only person worth listening to is Uhuru Kenyatta. Let us also not rubbish the chairing. Let us wait on after the chairing of Azimio, what decisions are made that can take the country forward. Because I don't like whereby people think that you're the only right person and everybody around you is wrong. No.
Yeah.
He has been a president for 10 years.
He knows a lot.
And he knows a lot. He was a finance minister, isn't it? So he knows enough. The truth is, let's wait and see whether this meeting will be a meeting to look for positions in the government of William Ruto, or be a position on how to give Azimio a new lease of life, isn't it? Or will he maybe punish Raila for having gone to Ruto's government? Because if Uhuru Kenyatta says it was not part of Raila going, why don't he punish Raila as the chair of Azimio for going in the wrong direction? And if Kalonzo joins Raila, is Kalonzo also saying he has joined Kenya Kwanza? So this, and I've seen that there's, how many PSs are there in the country? 40?
They're around 47, 46.
I'm being told Raila is being offered around 21, isn't it? So just be ready, you'll be there. But should these 21 positions be there and Kalonzo is given half of it, do you think he's going to leave?
He can't.
So these are the questions we are asking. Your leadership is shown by the decisions you make at critical times. I also want Kenyans to understand the following. Let us also not think that the government of Kenya, it belongs to government of Ruto. In fact, the people say Ruto's government. This is not Ruto's government. Those PS positions belong to Kenyans. They don't belong to these people.
To Ruto.
So if they call you for interview, don't say you cannot join Ruto's government, because that's the government of Kenya. When you go there, be honest and serve Kenyans. And tell them that you have not been given the position by Ruto. It is Kenyans who are paying your salary, isn't it? The Constitution of Kenya has created those offices. Go serve Kenyan honestly. But should they try to manipulate you to do the wrong thing, then tell Kenyans and resign. For me, it is not nice to say, I'm not one to join the government. Join it, and then from there, let us know the truth.
I think even Oparanya had started warning us, saying that if they don't listen to me, I'll resign and
but
go back.
The one of Oparanya was actually misunderstood. Actually, Oparanya meant he wanted money to go to Kakamega, his home area. That was self-interest. And he said that if money cannot go to Kakamega, remember the Hustler Fund, the Ministry for Cooperatives has some money being disbursed to SMEs and MSMEs, isn't it? He meant that if money cannot go back to Kakamega, then he will resign. So I don't think that we can take Oparanya seriously. Oparanya has been a minister before, so this is not even a big achievement for him. So actually for him, he can resign.
We have got nobody will lose.
Yeah, because he's a minister for planning for long. And I think if he's making money, I'm telling you, you can only wear one shoe. Unless God wants to give you 4 legs, you only have 2 shoes. Isn't it? You can only sleep on one mattress. Even if you put 10 of them, you can't sleep on 10. You'll sleep on one, but on top of others, which is
but it's just one.
Just one mattress. Yeah, you don't need one mattress. You only need one suit, isn't it? And I think you can only be with one wife at a given time. Even if you have 20 women, you can only be one at a time. Some who have tried having more at the same time have had disaster. And I can give you confession. There's a friend of mine who was living in the estate where I live. Then one day I was coming from Mombasa. I had traveled to Mombasa. I used to drive. Arrived in my estate something around 6 in the morning. Then I found a young man in the estate with only pants on, inner pants. So then the watchman was there. So I said, what's wrong? He told me, man, I had 3 women in the bed.
3 women.
And then when I was with one, the 2 disappeared. And they left with my wallet.
Yeah.
So the wallet had some euros and sterling pounds. And he forgot even he was naked. He ran from the bed to the gate. So, the watchmen do not know these things people call threesome or twosome. The watchman asked, sir, why 3? The watchman was very innocent, asking, so why 3? 3? Why 3? You know what I mean? You can only have one at a time. So let us know that greediness, gluttony cannot take you anywhere. It can just drive into problems.